Here's a story how one prompt closed me $30,000 of business in one call. What? Oh, that kind of hurt my. What? All right. I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to change the company name here, but Evan Huck from User Evidence just posted a nice note and tagged me. And so what I did is I did my sort of one prompt. I have a single Claude project that has all of my knowledge along with some structured HTML, some guidelines, a handful of my prompts, all taken from my $1,000 course. $9.99. I should be a good marketer and say it's under $1,000. And it just creates a proposal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through that proposal of all the elements of it. This will give you kind of an understanding about how I think. And this basically single proposal closed a 30K deal for me. All right, let's walk you through it. All right, so I just did this for user evidence. I can't publish this because Claude's having a massive problem here. So what this prompt does is it has like light branding. It reformats. It talks a little about who I am, right? That I believe that the AI SDR is like putting a legless robot on a horse. No one gets anywhere. It still shits along the way. So the message isn't the problem. The list is the message, right? So who to target and why they need you right now. And I go over the old way, which is like, hey, here's kind of what an existing message looked like. Quick question about customer evidence. Hi, Sarah. I noticed MongoDB just announced their Series F. User evidence help B2B to companies like yours. Do you have 15 minutes to discuss how we help? Like, this is what all these messages look like. It's all about zero connection to the customer evidence or challenge. So I have two ways to talk about this. A PQS, a pain qualified segment. And these are 2 to 5 data heuristics that imply tension on the account. So precise understanding of the prospect's current situation so they feel seen. I understand that you understand my situation. And this requires a deep connection to your customer because this isn't just about data. It's about using data to capture their experience, what they're going through, what they believe, what is happening in their business, right? That people talk about these as signals, but signals don't imply tension. Signals are one piece of information. Generally, tension is identified by things that cleave, things that pull apart. I don't know if I think I used that word wrong, but basically things that are creating tension in the business, right? Where one piece of information pulls in this way, another piece pulls this way to say, great, they're snapping. This is why growth is used as like a default heuristic, because whatever tension that you have in the business, the tension is tighter and it is pulled faster with growth. So I generally think about this like almost like a triangle where there's unique data heuristic 1, unique data heuristic 2, and then some method of growth, whether it's traffic growth or revenue growth, etc., because that pulls on 2 parts of the triangle. Now, there's another thing that's even more impressive, which is a permissionless value prop. And basically, the message is valuable in it of itself, that they can provide information. And by the way, Claude just like jammed on all this stuff, giving all of my heuristics, and it made everything. I basically provided almost no additional Jordan context. So, making customers feel understood. The case study death spiral. You posting multiple customer marketing manager positions within 90 days. They're drowning in manual processing, can't keep up with sales demands for customer proof. That's really interesting. So you can identify folks that are really trying to improve the number of case studies, etc. So why it works, how you can get what's the data source, and what does it look like. Customer marketing case studies page still shows this from early 2024. Adding headcount isn't really great. Manual workflow still can't match one person with proper automation. That's actually a pretty good message. You're still getting the same complaints from sales about needing more customer proof. Very interesting. Sales enablement. Sales teams are posting in Slack about needing customer. Oh, so this is like a perfect example where it's like, okay, how would you know that, right? And so this is where it's important to vibe with the models. You'll never be able to determine this. Unless, of course, you think about like tools like RevGenius, whatever, where people are like, hey, does anyone have any case studies? But this is actually true, right? So customer stories on your website, your sales job postings mentioning need better customer proof points. I don't know that you actually would find this in the real world, but this is a perfect place to go begin. And these are all pain qualified segments. This is actually interesting, right? You can kind of see that like large customer base and not a lot of public proof points. And especially if there is a new competitor that's entering the market, right? Fast growing. So you can kind of identify actually if your competitors are fast growing and also you have good logo penetration. You can look at the case studies on the homepage, not the case studies, the logos on the homepage relative to their case studies, right? So there's external pressure, a company writing pressure on you, as well as you have logos and you don't have case studies. Let's actually talk about PVPs. Alumni Tracker. Monitor LinkedIn to identify people featured in their case studies change jobs. These alumni represent warm. So this is basically the user gems play or the Champify play where you can just constantly monitor case studies. And when the people aren't there anymore, this is an opportunity to send them a message about, hey, you found 7 people featured in your case studies who started new roles in the last 6 months, including Jennifer Chen and Marcus Williams, right? Get this information. They already know your value and can introduce you to new companies. That's approximately 400K in warm pipeline. Want the complete list with their new titles and companies, right? How crazy is this? Basically, you can do permissionless user gems or Champify. And all you're doing is trying to add value here. Like, we're so good at this. We track these things. Hidden customer evidence. This is crazy. Conference speaker database and webinar platforms generate customers who have already publicly advocated but aren't featured in formal case studies. These are warm, willing participants for customer evidence. Imagine this. You can go look at podcasts, the full transcript, ingest the full transcript, and write a publishable, go ingest their existing case studies, take that as language, and go automatically create a case study for them. Jordan, you didn't mention Jessica Chen. She has talked about you publicly. She talked about you on this podcast. I took the full transcript, took all your existing case studies. I wrote this for you. If you want, we're happy to formalize it and go interview her. We've already reached out, and she's down to do this. Amazing, right? 12 customers speaking about you. 12 of your customers presenting major conferences this quarter who aren't featured in any case studies, including these people. They've already invested time to publicly advocate for you. Like Sarah's talk has 3,400 YouTube views, mentioning your solution by name, potentially influencing dozens of deals without your knowledge. Wow. Dozens of deals without your knowledge. Their talk titles, conference details, and contract. It'd be even better if you just wrote the case study. I actually don't like this one. This is review coverage relative to conversion rate. That's not as cool. And I just say like, hey, here's the sort of transformation. This work is the culmination of everything that I've done in my career. If you want to be able to get access to this type of thinking, my 99 course will teach you how to do it. But the most important thing, which you can get for free from this video, is you need to think about if you had unlimited amounts of time for you to spend on any given customer, what would you do and why? And really the only thing that we care about here is capturing the customer's problems, capturing your solution, capturing the value that you can provide to them independent of them buying or even evaluating your solution. And that means deploying an AI agent that has all of the access to your data, access to public data, unique for every single person. Now, these aren't necessarily easy to build, but there are probably thousands of the people on the planet that can build this, but maybe only a few dozen that can think in this way because AI has made it now possible. And I don't mean to overstate my capabilities here, but this is just to say that not nearly enough people are beginning with the customer and working backwards. What would the customer want? What would be valuable to the customer? And remember, we have all this intelligence and it's so cheap. So think about if the customer had perfect access to all of the information, public and private, access to your private information, the public web, what would they want to know? Ask AI that question and have it build you a script from that place. And if you do that, you will be worlds ahead of anyone else. Begin with the customer, have the model have context on who you are and what you are about, and say, if they had perfect information to everything I know and everything on the public web, go find data on the public web that would be valuable, Here's everything that I have internally. What would they want to know that would be tremendously useful to them? Work backwards from that point. And if you do that, all this AI stuff, what workflow to build, it all becomes self-evident. Have a beautiful Wednesday, July 9th, and thank you so much for consuming my content and for spending almost 11 minutes of your day with me. I am very grateful to have you.